What's up, gamers? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna do a little bit of a ranking of every boss in the first Dark Souls game. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, if you enjoy these kinds of videos, you should definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that stuff, so that way I know what content to make. And if you guys like this video, then I will definitely do the boss rankings for Elden Ring and for Dark Souls 3, because those are the Souls games that I have the most knowledge in as of right now, because I'm not a fan of Dark Souls 2 and I haven't played Bloodborne, Demon Souls, or Sekiro yet. So yeah, like I said, today we're just going to do the first game. I have not played the DLC, just as a fair warning, so I have not, so I don't have any opinions on any of these bosses here. I've seen gameplay of them, but I haven't fought them myself, so I don't really know. This is just going to be the base game. I'm going to be ranking the bosses in the order that I defeated them in, roughly. And these are the bosses that I feel like most players will come across in their playthroughs. So, sure. So, I have S to D. I don't think the rankings really matter a whole lot, but let's just get into it. The Asylum Demon. The Asylum Demon, I'm kind of torn on it, because I feel like it's a decent tutorial boss, but it's really just that. It's a tutorial boss, and it's very easy. It is probably the closest thing that Dark Souls 1 gets to easy, except for Pinwheel, maybe. But, yeah, I think we're going to chuck the Asylum Demon in B, because it's just, if you go behind it, it can't really do a whole lot to hurt you and to stop you from attacking it, other than that little thing that attack where it flies and then comes back down. That's really about it. But yeah, if you're somewhat experienced with Souls games, Asylum Demon will give you zero trouble. So I think B's pretty fair, because I know I had a hard time fighting him the first time. The Taurus Demon. I think we're going to chuck the Taurus Demon in B as well, because the main issue that I have with the Taurus Demon is that, one, the bridge you fight him on is really small, and it seems like the best strategy is to climb up the ladder, do the plunging attack, so do a ton of damage, run to the other side, and then run back, evade him, do the plunging attack again, and rinse and repeat until he's dead. See, Dark Souls bosses, I feel like, are always trying to teach you something about the game, but the Taurus Demon really just teaches you to use the plunging attack, which you don't really use that often, at least on bosses. I mean, you sometimes do it to basic enemies, I guess, but yeah, for outside of, maybe the Capra Demon also, there's really no other bosses where you start out either above or, where you can get above the boss to do a plunging attack. So, yeah, I think Taurus Demon is going to go in B as well. The Bell Gargoyles. The Bell Gargoyles, they're a pretty good boss. I think we got our first A tier here, because they're hard. I'll admit they're not an easy boss at all, especially for somebody that's new to Dark Souls. And yeah, it has a neat mechanic of being able to cut off its tail, but a lot of the more animal-based bosses kind of have that, except for Sif, I guess. But yeah, I feel like the Bell Gargoyle is one of the first true tests of skill that you meet, because it's like, if you can beat the Bell Gargoyles, then you can beat most of the game, I would say. So, and it also teaches you how to manage two bosses at one time. So I feel like that's really valuable. Also, the Moonlight Butterfly is D tier. It's just not a fun boss to fight, really. Because I mean, I personally play Souls with a more strength and dexterity based build, So there's not a whole lot I can really do against the Moonlight Butterfly except just wait it out until it comes down to charge up its little like bomb attack. But yeah, even for magic builds, they easily crush this boss because it doesn't have a whole lot of health. You know, you can fight it pretty early on in the game, and especially if you fight it later, because it's not one of those bosses that you absolutely have to kill, but it's one that most people are going to kill because it's so easy. Really, the hardest thing about it is just dodging its projectiles and just making sure you have enough health and S discharges to survive it if you're shit at dodging projectiles like me. The Capra Demon, I think we're also going to put the Capra Demon in D because it doesn't really teach you anything at all, and just fighting in a claustrophobic area, you know, you literally fight him in like a tight hallway. And he's got 2 dogs with you, which dogs always suck to fight, no matter what. No matter where you're at in Dark Souls. The dogs are just a pain in the ass. But you put two of those fuckers in there with this big guy in a tiny hallway. Not fun. You know, first handful of times you fight it, you know, you're gonna get fucking annihilated. And again, the best strategy that I found to do this is to get on top of that little ledge there, and then try to get the dogs to come up there, kill the dogs first, because then the fight's super easy. After that, you just gotta stay behind it and just dodge its pretty decently telegraphed moves, or swings, I should say. So, yeah. And the Capra Demon also becomes a later, a common enemy in the Demon Ruins. So, yeah. Not really a fan of the Capra Demon. The Gaping Dragon's not bad, though. I think we're going to put the Gaping Dragon also in A. It's a fun boss to fight because it's huge. It's the first, like, really huge boss you have to kill. So, and obviously you can cut off its tail, which is the best thing to do because, one, it can't hit you with the tail. And also, you get the Dragon Great Axe, I think it's called for it. Great Dragon Great Axe, something like that. I never used it because it was way too heavy, but yeah, Gaping Dragon teaches you how to fight a huge enemy that's way bigger than you, obviously. It teaches you to, you know, if they spew projectiles and shit on the floor, get out of there, which is very important for one of the next bosses we're coming up against. And yeah, the only irritating thing about this fight is that there's I believe they're called channelers, the guys that like dance around when they're casting spells and shit. There's one of those that shoot at you constantly if you didn't kill them, which I'm not really sure how to even get to them. So yeah, that made the fight a little bit more annoying to fight, but still, it wasn't bad. And it also sucks because if you try to summon Solaire, he kind of just gets annihilated. At least he did whenever I tried to summon him, so yeah. But yeah, Gaping Dragon, good boss. I enjoy fighting the Gaping Dragon. The Stray Demon is just a reskin of the Asylum Demon. We're going to put him in C tier. The way you fight the Stray Demon is if you decide to go back to the Undead Asylum, which is where you start the game in, and fight the Asylum Demon. You can go back there and fight the Stray Demon, which isn't, again, it's a reskin. It's not much different. It has more of a staff type weapon instead of a hammer, and it gets an AoE blast, but again, if you stay behind it, there's not a whole lot it can really do to punish you for that. And also, I fought this guy pretty early on, so I wasn't doing a whole lot of damage to him. So yeah, it takes a while to take him down, but obviously I'm sure you can clean up later on in the game and absolutely annihilate him. But yeah, he's not really much of a threat. Even the area you fight him in is pretty open, so you can definitely move around and reposition yourself if you accidentally get in front of him. But yeah. Chaos Witch Quelaag, the guardian of the second Bell of Awakening, and I think we're gonna put her in A because Not because for reasons you might think. Okay? Calm down. Calm down, boys. She might be pretty face, but not that spider though. Not the spider. All kidding aside, the only thing I really have against Quelaag is that she has a lot of health, which sucks. It makes for a long fight. But yeah, if you stay towards the head, the woman's sword can't get you, and so really all you have to watch out for is the lava that the spider spews out, and the AoE blast and the ground pound that it sometimes does. So, but those are pretty decently telegraphed, so you can always dodge out of there when you need to. And it's very satisfying to fight her, especially since it's the end of Blighttown. You know, it's like, well, I mean, you have to go through Blighttown again if you don't go straight to the Demon Ruins, but there's not a whole lot you can do in the Demon Ruins. Anyways, not after you get the Lord Vessel, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I think I'm feeling pretty good about Chaos Witch Quelaag being an A solid boss. I enjoyed fighting her. The Iron Golem. This guy, he's a B tier, I think. He's alright. I don't mind him. You know, he's the boss that you fight after you make it through Sen's Fortress, which is already a pain in the ass on its own. Not just because of the obstacles, but because of those weird snake guys. And the balls that crush you. But yeah. Other than that, Sen's Fortress really ain't that bad. The swinging axes aren't too hard to dodge. But yeah, the Iron Golem, I don't know. The reason I'm putting Iron Golem in B tier is because you fight him in a really small, like, square, which ultimately gets halved because there's a dude above you that'll just lob fireballs that cover like half the arena in fire. I mean, obviously you can kill him. I didn't know that until after I beat the game. But yeah, Iron Golem, he doesn't take a whole lot of damage. He has a lot of health, but he's very strong, and most of his moves are pretty easy to dodge. But his grab, I will admit, got me sometimes. But the good thing about the Iron Golem is that you can stagger him, which is really nice, because then he'll just basically sit down and then you can just wail on him. Now, that's really all I have to say about the Iron Golem. Ornstein and Smo. You know what? One of the hardest bosses in the whole game, but man, was it satisfying to take him down. So I think S tier is pretty fair. Again, good at teaching you how to fight against multiple bosses at one time. I'd arguably say that Ornstein and Smo do it better than the Bell Gargoyles, because the Bell Gargoyles are at least the same enemy. But Ornstein and Smo are completely different, because you got Ornstein, who's a nimble little fucker who likes to fly around the arena and throw lightning at you and hit you with his spear. And then there's Smo, who's, you know, obviously big dude, he's slow, but he hits hard. So my strategy for beating them was to try to take out Ornstein, was keep them both in my sight, but keep Ornstein closer so I could kill him. And then, because after you kill one, the other gets supercharged. So Smo just gets Ornstein's lightning powers, so he gets lightning added to his ground pound and stuff like that. And then if you kill Smo first, Ornstein gets super big, and his lightning attacks are amplified, which I haven't fought Super Ornstein yet. But yeah, I mean, either way, they're both a pain to fight, but very satisfying to take down, especially since I feel like Ornstein and Smo are the one boss that Dark Souls is basically like saying, like, if you can beat these guys, you can beat the rest of the game, because in my opinion, the difficulty kind of hits a plateau, which I know is a pretty popular opinion. I know a lot of people feel the same way. But yeah, Ornstein and Smo, I think S tier. First S tier boss so far. Got a couple more, I think, so. Yeah, Ceaseless Discharge. I don't really like Ceaseless Discharge that much. It doesn't do a whole lot. Like, if you obviously there's the cheese where you run all the way back to the boss entrance and it leaps at you and holds onto the ledge and then it falls off and dies, but I never got it to do that. It would always just spam its, like, fire beam that I'm pretty sure is, like, near impossible to dodge, because I've tried and I've gotten hit with it every single fucking time. Because even when I'm dodging, when I think it's about to hit, it still hits me. I'm like, fuck, man. So that has it going against it. I feel like, just kind of a bullshit move in my opinion. But yeah, I found there's a way that you can get behind this little, like, rock, like this little area, this little, like, tunnel almost, and you just peek out so it smacks its arm down and then you just wail on its arm. Do that a bunch of times. So yeah, it's a pretty boring boss fight, but it's not anywhere near as boring as Moonlight Butterfly or as frustrating as the Capra Demon. So yeah, I think Ceaseless Discharge is worthy of C tier. Centipede Demon, I personally didn't have much trouble with it. I beat it on my first try. I'm not sure how. I probably shouldn't have, because the camera was acting real wonky and I was able to get under it for most of the fight. But yeah, I'd say B tier. It's not bad. You get the I believe it's called the orange charred ring that allows you to walk through the lava without dying, like, instantly. So that's cool. But yeah, most of the arena is covered in lava, so unless you don't have a way to get that early, either before you fight him or while you're fighting him, then yeah. But when you're just fighting him on a little patch of rock like I did, it's not easy, but I somehow beat it my first try, so I feel like that kind of colors my opinion of the boss a little bit. But I think B is still fair. It's a fine boss. It's basically the guardian of Lost Izalith. So, the Demon Fire Sage, I can't remember. I feel like I fought the Demon Fire Sage before Centipede Demon, so I'm not exactly in kill order. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. Again, Demon Fire Sage is yet another reskin of the Stray Demon, and yeah, it's covered in fire, but I don't even think it has any fire-based attacks. I think it has the same AoE as the Stray Demon, so yeah, I don't know. Again, it's still not very difficult. At least to me it isn't. So yeah, don't really have much to say about that one. The Bed of Chaos, easily the most hated boss in Dark Souls 1, and I'm not really sure where to put it, because I think it's either C or D. I feel like I'm going to go with C. The only reason for that is because it saves your progress every time you die. So you don't have to beat the entire thing in one go, thank God. If you had to beat it all in one go, had to destroy both branches and then get the platforms to fall enough so you can go through the middle and kill the little bug in the middle, then yeah, I would easily be an F tier. I would have added an F tier for the Bed of Chaos, but I think for the fact that it saves your progress and the run up to the boss isn't really that bad either, I think I'm gonna go with C. Again, it wasn't really that frustrating to me, because I knew that even if I died a bunch of times, I would still get it eventually. So without much effort every try. So yeah. So yeah, I went to the Demon Ruins and Lost Izalith first, because after you get the Lord Vessel when you beat Ornstein and Smo, that's what allows you to travel between fast travel between some of the bonfires. You get the Lord Vessel, you get the fast travel. I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. You go talk to Frampt, he vores you down into the Firelink altar, and then you set it down, and then those 4 areas open up. And so yeah, you can do either the Demon Ruins at Lost Izalith, the Abyss to fight the 4 kings, or you could go to the Duke's Archives and the Crystal Caves to fight Seath, or you go into the Catacombs and the Tomb of the Giants to fight Nito. You can do that in any order; it doesn't matter. Because once you beat the four to get the 4 Lord Souls, which is the Bed of Chaos, Seath, Scaleless, Nito, and the 4 Kings, that's when the door to the Kiln of the First Flame opens up, and then you can go fight Gwyn and beat the game. So, yeah. So, Great Grey Wolf Sif. I like Sif. Sif is a fun boss fight. You know, Sif is the boss that you have to get. Sif is the boss you have to defeat in order to get the Covenant of Artorias ring, so that way you can actually travel through the abyss from New Londo ruins and fight the 4 Kings. Because if you try to fight the 4 Kings without it, you will just die. So, if anybody hasn't played Dark Souls before, I mean, if you played it before, you already know this, but yeah. Sif is a fun boss fight. Obviously, the lore behind it is really tragic. You know, it's one of the bosses that you don't really want to kill, but you gotta. So, yeah, don't really feel that great about it, but it's a fun fight. Even though you can easily choose it just by going under her. But, yeah. And also the run-up's pretty quick, so that's good. I haven't really talked about the boss run-ups, because I feel like it's kind of a redundant conversation. Now, really, most of these boss runs are pretty unremarkable. They're usually pretty close, if you know what you're doing. So, yeah, from the bonfire to the boss fog and the boss arena, so yeah. The worst is probably the 4 Kings, and maybe the Kiln of the First Flame, because you have to basically start at the Firelink altar, but at least that's what I had to do. But yeah, the 4 Kings, I like the 4 Kings. They were fun. They were frustrating at first, but once I got a weapon that did enough damage so that way I could dispatch one of them before the next one would spawn. Because the way the 4 Kings work is that, well, every 30 seconds a king will spawn. And actually, more than 4 Kings will spawn. I'm not sure if in the original Dark Souls it did that, but in Dark Souls Remastered, it definitely does. So, yeah, that's kind of tough. But you only need to defeat 4 of them, obviously, to beat the boss. And the kings by themselves are pretty easy. I mean, I wouldn't say they're super easy or anything like that. They're not like a silent demon easy, obviously. They're still tough. But, you know, if you get a weapon that does enough damage to dispatch one before the next one comes out, then you're fine. You're absolutely fine. So, yeah, 4 Kings, A tier. Obviously, the 4 Lord Souls you have to get. Pinwheel is a joke. Everybody knows this. D tier. I killed him probably like 4 hits. I can imagine for a lower level player that decides to explore the catacombs first, which I don't understand how you get through those skeletons when you're early game, because those skeletons will absolutely rip you to shreds. Because you're not supposed to go there yet. But, so I can imagine Pinwheel being actually a pretty difficult boss for early level players, but at the stage you fight him at, you know, even if the Tomb of the Giants is the first area you go to get the Lord Souls, even if that's the first place you go, Pinwheel's still pathetically easy. You know, even if you mix up the clones, it doesn't really matter that much. So, yeah, Pinwheel's a joke. But you get the Rite of Kindling from him, so that's kind of cool, which lets you kindle the bonfires more than once. Which I never really felt like I needed to do, but that's just me. Gravelord Nito. Again, he was fun. He was also pretty easy, in my opinion, because how I beat him was that you wait for the skeletons to come to you, you kill the skeletons quickly, and then you run up to Nito and basically stay right in front of him, because his attacks are pretty far-reaching and they won't get you, except for his AoE. Once you start charging his AoE, you run the fuck away. But other than that, yeah, Nito's not a difficult boss. The only thing that kind of sucks is that you have to jump down into this arena, which you do take fall damage from, which I think is dumb. But that's just me, so you pretty much just have to heal immediately. Unless you're probably wearing like Havel's armor or something like that, where you probably just don't take much fall damage. But then again, you're probably fat rolling. Unless you just went for like 1,000,000 endurance. Seat the Scaleless, I thought was also pretty easy. The run up was harder than the boss because first you have to get through the Duke's Archives, which that's a pain in the ass. Because there's just the crystal hollows and there's the channelers and the bone arrow guys always constantly shooting projectiles at you, which sucks. And then when you get to the crystal caves, then there's the fucking invisible bridges that you have to cross. Thankfully, I was playing online and I could see messages that people would put, so I knew where to go. But holy shit, that was not fun. Fighting the boss actually wasn't too bad because you break the crystal thing at the end of the arena, and then you basically just wail on its tentacles until it dies, and that's really it. Pro tip: if you never played Dark Souls before, the first time you fight him, he will kill you. There's no two ways about it. You have to die there, like that. You're supposed to, because then you get transported to the prison that you break out of, and then you go through the rest of the Duke's Archives. But make sure to roll around in the ice so you don't get curse buildup, because getting cursed sucks. Because it halves your fucking health. So yeah, buy Purging Stone anyways, just in case. And yeah, we just got one boss in the main game left to go. Again, I didn't play any of the DLC, so I haven't fought any of these guys. And I think Gwendolyn is the New Game Plus boss. But from what I've seen, it's pretty easy, so I'm not too worried about it. We got Gwyn, Lord Ascender. He's the final boss of the game. I have to put him in S tier. It's a beautifully tragic boss fight. Here, let me play Gwyn's theme for you. Hopefully I don't get fucking an ad for it. I'm ready. I'm gonna turn it up too. Listen to that. This is the song that plays whenever you fight Gwyn, the final boss of the game. I feel like this song just tells you everything you need to know about him. He used to be powerful. He used to be the Lord of Sunlight. He used to be super duper powerful. He fought and I believe won the war against the dragons. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I kind of guess when it comes to Dark Souls lore because I don't know. But yeah, just this is what you have to hear. And so, and Gwyn, he's still extremely powerful, and he will fuck you up. But once you learn how to parry, and you can parry his attacks, he's not that difficult of a boss. You can definitely tell that he's not at his full potential. Which, from what I understand, Artorias is the same way. But yeah, I love this song. This is great. Great piano melody. If I ever decide to learn piano, I'm gonna learn this song. But yeah. So just to run through everything again, in S tier I have Dragon Slayer Ornstein, not Demon Slayer Ornstein. Executioner Smo. We got Gwyn, the Lord Ascender. In A tier we got the Bell Gargoyles, the Gaping Dragon, Chaos Witch Quelaag, the Great Grey Wolf Sif, the Four Kings, and Nido. In B tier we got the Asylum Demon, the Taurus Demon, the Iron Golem, the Centipede Demon, and Seat the Scaleless. In C tier I got the Stray Demon, Cease's Discharge, Demon Fire Sage, Bed of Chaos, and in D tier we have the Moonlight Butterfly, the Capra Demon, and Pinwheel. I kind of tried to rank these guys based on how much I enjoyed fighting them. If this list would be a little different if I ranked them based on difficulty. because I think some of the spots would have changed. Although I feel like it probably would have relatively stayed the same. Although I probably would have moved the Silent Demon down to here, but to D tier, but in terms of difficulty, but you know, Dark Souls 1 is a great game, and I already made a video talking about why I think you should play it. But I really mean it. I think you should give Dark Souls a shot, and hopefully, if you've never played the game before, I'm hoping this will give you an idea of what the bosses are like. But, of course, everything is subjective. You might think the Bed of Chaos is S tier. You might think fucking Pinwheel is S tier. I don't think you will. But, you never know. Everybody has a different experience with it with every game, so yeah. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you next time.